and welcome to another episode of Rift News, the show you decided to watch because you want to know how excited I am about the new book. And excited I am. But before we get to the book, we got other things to talk about. So let's start with what is new on the live clients. Since 9.18 was released, not only can you get all the new Star Guardian skins, including Prestige Star Guardian Nico, but you can also get the Star Guardian Little Legends. And if you snoop around the internet, you may find content creators giving away Emerald Zoe skins. On top of this, Riot gave us some basic Star Guardian missions. But because we won't get a Star Guardian game mode, these missions still won't feel like a proper event. That's pretty much it for the live clients. But upon PBE, we already have more new things to talk about. When it comes to skins, the next champion in the Hextech lineup is Hextech Amumu. Honestly, I really like this one. Not only are his abilities completely new, and I mean they really are completely different, and they include Hextech crystals instead of tears, by the way, but Amumu's model is very unique as well. Unfortunately, because Amumu is a bit older, this amazing skin is held back by his old animations, similar to what happened to Nocturne. As always, since it is a Hextech skin, this one will cost you 10 gemstones. Next we have skins from the Eternal Sword skin line, which is also called Eternal Journey. The first one is Majestic Empress Morgana. Now, I was never really a fan of this skin line. I mean, the greatest thing we got from this was Master Yi's face reveal, that turned out to be real in the end. So even though the skin looks unique to normal Morgana, I am not really blown away by it. But if you do like the theme, you will really enjoy the new spell effects. Then there is Splendid Staff Nami, which, theme-wise, is actually quite close to Koi Nami, except she has legs. Other than that, it's cool that she summons a golden dragon with her ultimate. And the last one from this skin line is Valiant Sword Riven. One thing I really like about this skin is that Riot gave her a scarf. And because Riven is doing all sorts of dashing and flipping around, the scarf naturally outlines her movement. Years ago, I was hoping that Riot would give the original championship Riven a cape, because that would really stand out, and it would feel like a unique reward for the original owners, unlike the tiny crown we got instead. But back then, Riot didn't have the tech to do physics-based animations, and now it is too late to go back to the old skins to make them unique. Anyway, I almost forgot what we were talking about. Valiant Sword Riven. It's good. But do you know what would make it even better? Longer scarf. Nay, prestige version with longer scarf. Jokes aside, the prestige version of Valiant Sword Riven is actually quite good. And if I wasn't crap at playing Riven, I might have considered finally using my prestige points. And since we mentioned Championship Riven, Riot revealed this year's championship skin. Championship Rise. Now, although Rise looks quite humorous here, I mean he looks like a nomad from the deserts, and not like an armored fighter winning championships. His spell effects are great, and the idea of popping up summoner statues during his teleport is badass. With that, we should mention that Rise will also have a gold version of this skin, and Nami and Morgana will have a lineup of chroma skins too. But they both get an emote too, with the new Silver Wing emote being a nice bonus. But then, as we get into icons, and we go past all the normal ones, we will find icons for Worlds 2019. Because, don't forget, championship skins are released to celebrate the Worlds event, and this year's Worlds are right behind the corner. So together with the Championship Rise and the Championship icons, we also have an icon for this year's Pick'ems, which is the game where you try to guess the outcome of the World Championship. We got some in-game banner assets for Summoner's Rift, and don't forget, loot. Of course, we'll get more loot. But besides the classic orbs and bags we would normally get, Surrendered 20 data mined a lot more. Mostly they found new assets for the gold versions of the championship skins. But more importantly, they found something that honestly makes me want to jump off of Butcher's Bridge. I know that joke was cringy, but we need some leak flavoring here. Anyway, I don't want to jump because what Surrendered 20 found was bad. No, that's not the case at all. The problem is that it is good, but it arrived too late. You see, among all the loot, there is something called rare eggs for Little Legends. Now, we don't have the details yet, but from the pictures and from the name we can assume that these eggs will be a bit pricier, but they will only contain the rare chroma versions of Little Legends. Because if you don't know, not all the chromas you get from them have the same value. Some are common, some are rare, and some are legendary. So if you buy these rare eggs, you can narrow down which kind of Little Legends you want. Simply said, if these eggs were released earlier, people wouldn't gamble as much as they did. Or at least, I would save like 7000 RP. Anyway, speaking of Little Legends and TFT, Surrender at 20 also found new icons for the third battle pass of TFT. So even though we probably still have quite some time left on the second pass, the third one is already being put together. Lastly, Kaisa is still being tested on PvE as a unit for TFT. She's a Ranger Void unit, with an ultimate that makes her jump to the furthest enemy and gain attack speed. And with her release, because she is a Void unit, the Void combo is being changed, and it will work more like Imperials. If you get 2 Void units, one of them will deal true damage, and if you get all 4, all Void units will deal true damage. Now, although that's pretty much all the files we can find on PvE, Riot released a lot more news themselves, such as the new League of Legends logo. Just like Riot as a company updated their looks, League of Legends got updated too. A lot of people don't like this new look, mostly because it lost some of its image, because it doesn't have the backplate anymore. But I really think that it is just a matter of getting used to it. I really like the clean new text, and I do believe that the reason why there is no background plate anymore is because if you have a clean text, you can put it onto other products as a subtitle, such as Legends of Runeterra, the League of Legends MMO. Yes, don't forget that Riot still has the Legends of Runeterra trademark. But my point is that the new logo is more flexible for use, and so maybe it was done to prepare for new releases. Outside of this new logo, Riot also released the World's Theme 2019. Now don't get confused, this theme is not the main song of the year. It's just the login screen and it's the music that will play during picking phases and such. The main song is yet to be revealed. And here I want to mention a funny leak that one of our viewers shared with me. There was a leak that came out before we even got any info on the new Star Guardians. So everything the leak got right was probably just a coincidence, because there is a lot it got wrong too. But the reason why we can give it some credit is because it mostly got right the champions and the skin themes that would be released. It just didn't correctly match the champions with the skin lines. So it is totally possible that the leaker only got a list of champions with skins in development, and then they got a list of skin lines in development. Anyway, the point being that there is about 40% chance that the leak might be partially real. And according to the leak, the song for this year's Worlds might be performed by Lindsey Sterling. Which, let's be honest, would be really cool. Besides this, notice that the leak also mentions 3 musical skins for Bard, Echo and Kiana, which might be released with the 10th anniversary, but we'll get to these later. Because next, we need to talk about the 10th anniversary of League of Legends. People knew for a while that this would be the 10th year since League of Legends was released. And as we got closer and closer to the date, people got increasingly more worried because nobody knew what to expect. Personally, the only realistic expectation I have is for Riot to release some super unique skins. For example, I thought it would be funny if Riot imported old original models of champions back into the game as skins. Such as, imagine the old Kayle being a skin for the new one. This would be an amazing 10th year anniversary celebration. But outside that, I don't have any expectations. And that's not because I wouldn't trust Riot, it's just because I don't want to be disappointed should nothing happen. However, then we got Riot's official post. A couple of days ago, they officially announced that on the 15th of October, which is in 3 weeks from now, they will do a special live stream that will celebrate the 10th anniversary. To quote what they said, that day they will kick things off with live streams and events, including the 10th anniversary edition of Riot Please. Which, if you don't remember, Riot Please is a special type of video where Riot, or specifically Joe, directly answers the players' concerns. And sometimes they reveal what's to come. And here the post mentions that during this segment, they will look back at their favorite League moments, and they will give us a glimpse of the future, including a first look at League's preseason changes, and TFT's next big content update. Now, this part made me think. The TFT update will probably be bigger than we think. I wouldn't be surprised if they try to separate TFT from League even further, and give TFT its own game modes. Like what if multiple people shared one game board while fighting bosses? You know, party modes like that. I think something special will happen, otherwise they wouldn't call it a big content update. I'm not sure if just a bunch of new champions would be that big. Then they mentioned that they will show us League's preseason. Again, during preseasons expect big changes. And mostly, I mean changes to the jungle. But the biggest thing here is that they simply said that they will show us a glimpse of the future. And this is where we can talk about our real expectations. Because, let's be honest, most people will expect a new game by Riot Games. Now, here's the thing. We know about 2 things that Riot is working on. Riot accidentally leaked that they will be releasing a fighting game, Now, since the fighting game was developed by a studio that Riot acquired, Riot will technically be the publisher. But either way, I think it will be an entirely separate universe that will have nothing to do with League of Legends. The other thing that we know that Riot is looking into in the Eastern market is League of Legends Mobile. About a month ago, there's been a leak showcasing League of Legends on a mobile phone. Now, I do believe that it is absolutely real. I couldn't find anything fake about it. But it being real doesn't mean that it will be released. Sometimes companies make tech demos to convince other companies to give them licenses. So it is possible that this video isn't a leak of a game. It is just a company showing Garena, who represents Riot in the Eastern market, that they have developers that would be able to port League onto phones. In fact, something like this did happen before, with a different company. When Overwatch first released, there was a Chinese company that made an obvious knockoff. They even reused Blizzard's models. But because people didn't have context, nobody knew that it was just a tech demo, and that it was a company that was trying to remake Overwatch to see what their tech can do. I think the same thing might be happening here. The fact that this video exists doesn't mean that we will get League on phones. Still, I want to add something to this. I hope that Riot will show us something more than a fighting game and League on phones. Because we all know that people are expecting an MMO or an RTS game, or anything else that will expand the universe of League of Legends. I said this before and I will again. The story of League of Legends is now better than the game, and Riot needs something to show it to the players. I don't think a fighting game can do that. Anyway, back to the post. Later they mentioned that at peak times, every day there is 8 million players playing League, which, let's be honest, is an impressive number. Then they closed the post by reminding us that we should really be there on the 15th of October. They repeated 3 times in the post, which fills me with hope that Riot really might have an ace up their sleeve. And now, onto the post everyone's been waiting for. The book. I don't think anyone expected this, like, at all. But here it is anyway. The official guide to the world of League of Legends. You have no idea how happy this makes me. Not the fact that we'll finally get a physical book, but the fact that everything that will be in this book will be set in stone as canon information. No more retconning from this point on. I mean, it's true that it took Riot 10 years to do this, but hey, it's totally better late than ever. The sad thing is that this book will have a lot of information on the regions. And we just started a new series where we cover the basic information of these regions, which means that we will probably have to remake them later. Anyway, since the book is on pre-order right now, we got some examples of what we will find inside. We got the normal stuff which we can find on the universe, such as the full map, the architecture, but then it offers us more, such as the full layout of the great city of Demacia. Here we can see the full map, including where the Mage Seekers are, where Silas escaped, and even where Galio is. Actually, he's supposed to be close to the city. More importantly, the book will also contain short stories that were specifically written for this book. I mean, overall, the book has over 300 pages. So in short, not only will this book give me a lot of new content to work with, but we may also do some reading streams. The only problem I see is that people need to remember that I am dyslexic. I know it's ironic when my job is literally just to read, but that's the sad truth. So the reading streams might be unbearable, and or funny. But what's funnier than that? The book is #1 bestseller in the video game category and it's not even out yet. Hey, did you know that we have social media and Twitch where we talk about other League facts and stories? And did you know that we have need mugs and shirts too? The links to all of that will be below. And as always, thank you, come again.